Telling you, bro, this looks like fun. Like in an alternate life, dude, like this is what I'm doing, just like in a motorcycle club. So about half a dozen months ago, I made a video about motorcycle clubs. Specifically a video about how to survive a motorcycle club encounter, should you ever have said encounter. It's basically me reacting to a video made by So's the Ghost, who is a very knowledgeable guy regarding that lifestyle, and he also wears a skeleton mask. I felt a connection to him. I'm not sure why. Anyways, the video is just about teaching you guys and myself at the time the dynamics of motorcycle clubs and how to go about coexisting with them, which is pretty valuable information, in my opinion. And it's also something you don't usually see on YouTube, which, you know, you got your Moto Jitsus, you got your Dan-Dans, but none of those guys are going to give you that kind of knowledge. I mean, God forbid you run up on a motorcycle club, but you didn't watch those videos me and So's made, and then you, with the innocence of a toddler, decide to just pull up to the pack. Mistake number one, you don't get the all clear from the tail gunner or the road captain, you silly goose. Mistake number two, and then you blow past the pack and in the process throw a bunch of gravel and rocks and stuff into the road captain's face. Mistake number three. Sure, you can hit the perfect U-turn because you watch Dan, and sure, you know where to buy good gear at affordable prices because you watch Fortnite and Revzilla, but that's not going to save you once you need gas and 20 Kratos looking dudes just beat the crap out of you. And yeah, that video had around 800 views, I think, as of last week when I checked it. And yeah, I make newer videos, you know, the algorithm tends to forget about older videos, which is fine because I was still a little rusty when I made that video, so I mean, let's just move on and make newer stuff. And oh my god, they recommended it to him. So So's actually watched my video, and not only that, but he told his audience about it, and then they watched my video. Me being a little goofball, they watched me, and now that video has about 2,000 views. Needless to say, I was baffled, a little kerfuffled, a little bamboozled, but in the end it was great. I mean, his community you would think would be, you know, kind of intense, maybe dangerous, but no, everyone who commented and subscribed were all super chill, gave good feedback, like saying motorcycle clubs instead of gangs, which I did a few times in the previous video. Sorry about that. And so yeah, because So's was so generous about telling his fans about me, which I still don't know how he did, by the way. I checked his socials. He didn't really mention me. I mean, maybe he told them telepathically. You see? And there it is. There's still so much about motorcycle clubs that we don't know about. And so we are addressing that today. With the guidance of So's, we have successfully survived a motorcycle club encounter, but now the forbidden fruit must be tasted. We're gonna join a club, specifically an outlaw motorcycle club, as that's what the title says. So yeah, let's watch this video and learn a thing or two about a thing or two.
In this episode,
hey, there he is. There's our boy. I'm telling you, bro, this looks like fun, man. Like in an alternate life, dude, like this is what I'm doing, just like in a motorcycle club.
Big shout to the Ghosts and the Ghost Sets.
Thanks, bro.
I'm Sos the Ghost. I'm your host for the evening.
Yes, that's how you pronounce it too, by the way. I think I called him Soze the Ghost. Soze the Ghost. Also, I know I'm probably saying his name wrong. I don't know how scared I should be. I had a friend named Jose growing up. We would hit each other with sticks. But yeah, his name was spelled J-O-S-E, and that is where I messed up. So
there are things that are strange about joining clubs. We're gonna break down the 10 weirdest rules you must follow.
Okay, I'm just saying, I wouldn't have it any other way, man. If I'm gonna be ready to like give my life for something like this, dude, and like dedicate everything I am to this, like let it be weird, dude. If you're looking for a normal, safe path to take, bro, just go work in an office, man. The weirder, the better, I think. We'll see by the end of this video if I still feel that way.
This article we're gonna go off is from hotcars.com, so we're gonna debunk what's fake, talk about what's real. Let's get into it.
Okay, so he didn't come up with this list. He got it from some other place, but he's gonna go through it. Okay, so this is not his list per se.
There are strict and stringent rules to ensure that no member steps out of line or jeopardizes the safety of other members or the club.
Fair enough.
It also allows the motorcycle club to only select those members that would prove to be a perfect suit for the club as a whole.
Okay, that makes sense. We're talking outlaw motorcycle clubs here. So they're not going to take just any dude off the street. They're looking for capable people, you know, people who can actually help the cause. Whatever their cause is, I don't know, man, but they need to be able to help it.
Bikers should know or read these things before joining a motorcycle club. However, some of these rules are quite extreme and downright weird, to be exact. Number 10.
Okay, number 10.
Every meeting needs to be attended. Motorcycle.
Oh man. Oh, it's just like Chick-fil-A, dude. Yeah, that was my first job. Yeah, my managers told me the same thing. You miss a meeting, you're done in this town. They didn't exactly say it that way, but it was kind of like that. They were pretty hardcore.
These gatherings usually take place at least once in a week, and it's mandatory for all.
That's more than Chick-fil-A.
Now, depending on what club it is, not all meetings are mandatory. They want everybody there, but sometimes you have meetings that are like emergency, that are mandatory. Sometimes, you know, something happens, someone goes down, there's issues going on, and you'll have a mandatory meeting. But you know, if it's a monthly meeting, if you're in a club, you should be there.
I mean, monthly, yeah. If it's a once a month thing, I mean, come on, make the effort. Hitchhike your way there if you need to.
But if you're working and stuff like that, brothers are very good about understanding that. Some clubs don't care.
Yeah.
That meeting is once a month or once a week. You have to be
Still
there.
though,
That's part of your
even if
commitment.
it's work related, you should be able to
So,
make that
members
work if you had a
provide
month in
valid
advance to
reason
plan it.
in case they skip a meeting. A valid reason could be responsibilities they need to tackle at work. Any kind
Yeah,
of
your
illness
kids,
or
your-
incarceration.
That too.
So this is very true. If you miss a couple of meetings in a row, brothers will act like they don't love you no more. Like it's
Yeah,
good-
that's to be
and
expected
you
though,
should
man.
coach
Because you're not
them.
showing love to them.
Sometimes brothers don't do that and they put themselves on a hot plate for no apparent reason. So just have enough respect to call and let them know what's going on. Sometimes
There it is again,
you just
respect,
don't
man.
wanna go.
That's all it is.
You gotta come up with a real reason. You can't just be like, oh, I didn't feel like going, or just ghost the club. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, one of your guys calls out sick, but then you realize it's the Hogwarts Legacy release date. Instead of tackling club problems, he's out there running with the Hufflepuffs, catching some mops on their block. Yeah, you would need a valid reason. And also because everyone's probably so tight-knit in these clubs, they might check up on you, so you really gotta make sure you have a good excuse. Or just show up. I mean, that's also an option.
that's a problem that they're gonna have a sergeant come check you if you.
Yeah, see? They're gonna check.
Number 9, respect your gear and biker vests.
It's your uniform, man. It's what you represent.
Member cannot replace or lose them either. Members who have left the club must do so by returning the gear and vests to the motorcycle club, or they will be taken from the departing member by the use of sheer force.
Yeah, you leave, man. You give all that stuff back. It's not worth the hassle of having all these guys coming after you, you know, so I get that.
This is true. You have to take care of your colors. You can't just leave them sitting on the back of your chair. You can't leave them sitting on your bike. You can't lose your vest. I've never heard of somebody losing their vest, but I've heard of them losing it by getting it taken from another club, by a rival club.
That's a good excuse, actually. I mean, if another club did that, I mean, that would be like a sign of war, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, unless maybe they're already at war. But I mean, yeah, do clubs start fights with other clubs that way? Stealing their gear and then like parading around with it? That's pretty hardcore.
But yeah, you gotta just take care of your colors. And if you are leaving the club, give them everything. Rings, jewelry, any kind of jewelry, any kind of support merch, all that type of stuff.
It's not really yours. I mean,
everything, give them their stuff back. That is club property.
Yeah.
Number 8,
that makes sense.
get ready for some tough encounters. Motorcycle clubs choose only the toughest prospects to become members of their elite group.
I mean, I'm pretty tough.
Selection is done through a rigorous vetting process that often encompasses some rough encounters for the prospective member.
Okay.
You would have to undergo a waiting period before being
Are we
accepted.
talking hazing or are we throwing them to the wolves?
Often involves the actual members of the club handing out work to them.
Okay. I wonder what work would be considered in this scenario. Are we talking about lead cannons? Are we talking about drugs? Are we talking about just like picking up a coffee for the boss? Not really sure. I mean, I guess it all comes down to like the particular club. But if we're talking outlaw club, like if we're in that category, probably pretty intense.
Members need to carry out menial tasks for them to be given sanctuary at the club. Some of these experiences can include tough hazing to weed out the best in the lot.
I figured. Okay.
A lot of menial tasks, a lot of cleaning up. If you got a big ego, you're not going to work as a prospect. You know, like if your ego is so big that you don't want to clean up and stuff like that, it's just not for you. And it's not for everybody, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a team activity.
The way it's changing, less and less people are getting involved these days. Number 7.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, Ducati! Sport bike! Wow. I didn't think I would see one of those in these videos.
The most commonly known set of rules followed by most motorcycle clubs are derived from Robert's Rule of Order, a list of guidelines that facilitates organized and democratic assembly of club members. So I've seen both. You know, some clubs will have very organized, structured, old school way of doing things, and
structured is old school. Okay.
People bickering. That's mostly what people talk about most of the time. Is little personal beefs that brothers have with each other and stuff like that. I mean, depending on what chapter you're in, you know, and depending on, you know, where you live and who you vibing with and stuff like that. But
yeah,
you know,
it's gotta vary.
It could be really structured or it could be chaos, and there's a lot of chaotic.
Really, I would not have thought of that. You would think by joining a club that you would want some structure, you know, or some purpose or something to contribute to. I mean, if you're thinking about joining up and then the club's infrastructure is collapsing in on itself, it's like, why jump on a sinking ship? Anyways, number 6.
Even human waste is not uncommon for new members. It is not an unknown fact that the induction process of most motorcycle clubs is tough and rigorous. However, some clubs have rules and practices that are downright filthy.
Okay.
One of these is an initiation ritual that includes active members depositing body fluids, vomit, urine, and even crap on a vest. Wear that vest and go out for a rock.
Wait, what happened to respect in the vest, man? I thought he was going to say something way different than that. Yeah, that is a weird ritual / requirement to join the club. I'm starting to take back what I said in the beginning. This is a little too weird, bro.
So the vest becomes dry. I have not heard of something like that nowadays. I've heard of like the beer, you know, like a whole bunch of people, you know, throwing beer on you, stuff like that, their drinks on you.
That's fine, bro.
But to me, that's like gangland. You know, we want to make them look bad like they're animals. There's a club out there that maybe still does stuff like that, I guess. I don't see it.
Maybe.
But, you know, it's possible. Anything is possible. But it's not like a ritual that all clubs are doing, you know? Number 5.
Yeah, I was thinking like kicking somebody out or like branding, something else. But I mean, yeah, that is a weird one. Number 5.
Women have separate hierarchy.
Oh, that's right. Where the ladies at? In the few videos that I've watched from Soz, he's never mentioned this aspect of it, so I'm curious to see what he says about it.
They have a separate hierarchy set for themselves, as these clubs usually function on strict and organized structures. However, seeing a woman in a motorcycle club is extremely rare, as they make up a slim percentage of the world's biker community.
Okay, I was going to say, you don't see many.
They kind of structure themselves the same way that MCs do, or their impression of what MCs do, but a lot of times they get kind of like big brothered by a male club, by a traditional MC.
Okay.
So they get the structure and they get taught the correct way to do things.
Okay, that's how it works. So some of them will go under the wing of bigger groups with the dudes, so I get it. But wait, is that the only way for a girl to get in? Is to join a girl club away from the dudes? Yeah, I wonder if they're forced to separate like that, but I mean, who knows? Interesting stuff.
Number 4, no place for rebels without a cause. Motorcycle clubs, as portrayed in movies, is quite different from what they actually are. These are rigorously structured organizations that have distinct hierarchies, requiring immense respect and influence.
There is order.
Holding these positions have acquired over the years. While some motorcycle clubs have the nicest members, others are full of bad boys. None have rebels without a cause. Nonconformists and rebels should be aware that a motorcycle club is not a place for them, as they are stringent rank and file compositions within these clubs, and not everybody can do whatever they desire.
Again, it's just like, know what you're getting into, man. I mean, I think most people wouldn't have a problem with that. Like I said earlier, people who join clubs, I would think, are looking for structure, are looking for purpose. If you're a guy who doesn't want any of that, I don't know why you would even entertain the thought of joining a motorcycle club, because it doesn't make too much sense to me. Yeah, who knows? If you guys want to join a club, I mean, know what you're getting into.
It's a great topic right here, because I've heard people say, you're in an outlaw club, you got more rules than a citizen. Like, how y'all outlaws? But you
before he answers this, I did get that a little bit with the previous video. There were parts, joking aside, where I was thinking like, okay, this seems a little extra. Why add more rules to a world that already has a lot of rules? I had those thoughts too, but let's see what he has to say about it.
How many rules do you follow on an everyday basis? Lights, crossing the street,
putting on your pants
that you follow. There's a lot of stuff that outlaws don't follow. So I never understood that theory. Just because you're following your club's rules, they got way less rules than you follow in your everyday life.
I got you. Okay, so like you said, while they do have rules, obviously you need some rules, you know, otherwise everything would just be total chaos. But they're probably allowed to break a lot of just dumb, boring rules and laws, because there are a few of those. And yeah, I think it cancels out. I mean, if you really like this lifestyle, maybe even benefits you more, because you're less prone to breaking these rules as opposed to the government set ones. So yeah, I get it.
But 3, your race may prove to be vital. A black
I assumed, unfortunately,
might need to rethink his ambitions, as most motorcycle clubs that exist in the world, especially the ones in the USA, do not take kindly to people who are not white. Everybody's kind of sectioned off. But overall, like clubs in general, there's not these rules. It really depends on where you're from. On the East Coast, people are a lot more united
Okay, so they do exist. I mean, we're looking at them right here. So if you're not white, East Coast, that's the place to be.
Other places, people are a lot more separated, but that's more like an outlaw, motorcycle club. But overall, motorcycle clubs is not exactly like that.
Gotta keep in mind, we're talking outlaw clubs, not all clubs in general, so yeah.
Number 2, every area has only one motorcycle club. Just like it was back in the days in the Mafia in New York, motorcycle clubs have separate territories designated to themselves that they and only they can control. A particular area can only have one motorcycle club operating within its limits, and the existence of another can lead to territorial disputes.
It makes sense.
So this right here is incorrect. Every area doesn't have one motorcycle club. Now, if you want to say one outlaw club that runs the show in a territory in a certain area, yeah, not the whole state though. Number 1.
Okay, I was gonna say the state, dude. I don't know any club that would be able to take over a whole state, All right, last one, number 1.
Number 1, sport bikes are for suckers.
All right, let's hear them out.
There are many popular motorcycles.
Gixxer, I know that bike.
Sport bike is rarely one of them. Although there are exceptions, most motorcycle club members around the world prefer classic choppers or cruiser bikes to be their ride of choice. Apart from the practice,
that's what you think when you think motorcycle clubs. You don't think sport bike.
They also provide the motorcycle club member with a rugged experience. And that's
yeah, that is so true, bro. That is so true. I've only owned sport bikes, but like it's hard to describe the people, like the feeling you get from riding specific machines. Like throw specs, throw horsepower away. If you're just talking about like the soul of the bike, and how it connects with you, some stuff will just connect better than others. Like I rode a Harley when we did the MSF course. I've sat on my buddy's Harley. I've sat on my other buddy's Harley, and it feels different. Like you feel totally different. It's hard to put in words, but like on a sport bike, you feel just like fast. It tends to make you a little more aggressive, and yeah, you feel light. Whereas with a cruiser, you feel that rumble. You hear that just like guttural just sound, and you just feel like power. Like not in speed, but you just feel power, a different kind of power. So I mean, it's really cool, man. That's why I'm not really against any specific type of bike. They all make you feel differently. They're all built different.
So if you're talking outlaw motorcycle clubs, yeah, they're not pushing sport bikes.
I figured.
Sport bikes in the beginning. Until you get fully attached, then you have to have acquired a bike.
Really?
By that time, others you have to walk in with a Harley, Victory, depending on the club. But
just out the get-go. Okay.
Outlaw motorcycle clubs is majority sport bike, so you could ride a sport bike.
Hold up, I didn't know that most clubs are sport bikes. I didn't know that. I would have thought cruisers. I mean, yeah, I know like there's a lot of rides, like a lot of just organized sport bike rides. I know that that's a thing, but clubs, as far as clubs go, that actually surprises me. I would have thought the opposite.
Don't think that you're disqualified from joining a regular club.
Okay.
Because you have a sport bike and that's your style. You got hood riders out here, rough riders, you got all kinds of clubs.
I feel included now. I like that.
So that's an important aspect to joining a club is what club is for you. What is your style? What kind of bike you ride?
Yeah.
What bike do they ride? You can't be the sore thumb. If you want to learn more about motorcycle club culture, hit that subscribe button.
All right, bro. All right. I already did. Did you subscribe yet? Oh, look at that. I should get one of those.
We ghosting, baby.
We always ghosting, baby. Love this dude's stuff, man. Again, it brings a totally different vibe compared to like a lot of the other like motorcycle related channels, including my own, because I don't really touch on this a lot. All aspects of motorcycle riding I think are pretty interesting. So I mean, it's cool to get his perspective on this kind of stuff and know what's up. I guess in summary, just find a club that you respect and actually want to be a part of. I think the whole respecting your gear, respecting members, going to meetings, all that stuff will kind of fall into place if you actually care. I also do agree what he says about it not being for everybody. It takes a certain kind of person to want to be a part of something, to contribute to the larger picture, like the larger group, and to not be thinking just about themselves. I think he was saying less and less people are joining clubs. I mean, that's why. But yeah, you get your band of brothers together, you all work together. You can make something that's pretty rad and have some cool experiences. So yeah, that's the video, guys. Subscribe to Demons Row So's. That is us educating the youth for today, and I will see you guys in another video on this channel or the Airsoft channel, one of these channels, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.